Hello, everybody. My name is Joshua, and for my favorite social welfare topic, today I'm going to be discussing a criminal justice issue, and specifically the criminal justice issue of prison reform. And for this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about a specific bill that's being talked about right now and could be passed within the next couple of weeks, and it's known as the First Step Act. And it's important for a lot of reasons. One of the big things about this bill and why it's important for criminal justice and specifically prison reform is because it's a bipartisan bill that is supported by both Republicans and Democrats. That's important for a lot of reasons. It's important because having the support of both Democrats and Republicans shows the universality of this issue, why it's important, and it really represents kind of a shift in kind of the Trump White House and the type of issues that are being progressively taken care of. And this represents a big change and a big positive change at that. And so I read a little bit about this bill, and I'm going to read an excerpt from Vox.com regarding the bill. The bill focuses on rehabilitating people once they're already in prison by incentivizing them with the possibility of early release to partake in rehabilitation programs. So primarily, the bill focuses on the rehabilitation aspects of prison. Additionally, from what I've read, it will mitigate compound sentencing, create work transitions, and reward and incentivize good conduct and behavior. Also, lighter sentencing. And I'm pretty sure they were talking about the bill abolishing sentence minimums. And again, this is only applicable for federal prisons. This is not state prisons or local prisons. Um, so just to get into some of the details of the bill beyond the general overview I gave, the bill encourages inmates to participate in more vocational and rehabilitative programs by letting them get earned time credits, and these earned time credits will work toward lessening their sentence for when they can transition into halfway homes. Um, this will help with overcrowding in prisons, and also there's like an education opportunity they will receive. Um, the bill increases these credits as I've already mentioned. Um, so the important thing about this is that with these earned time credits, they will be able to get out earlier, and they will have an easier time transitioning. And then they'll have an easier time transitioning because they're also going to offer vocational programs in addition to supplement the prisoner's education and to actually help rehabilitate them as opposed to punish them by just kind of throwing them in a cage. So, although vocational and rehabilitative programs already exist in federal prisons, they have a massive wait list. And what this bill is going to do is it's going to increase the allotted budget so that this can be more readily available to prisoners as opposed to being so scarce. So it says here it would authorize more than $50 million a year over 5 years to support these types of programs. And it's been shown that programs like these are really good for anti recidivism, meaning people who recommit crimes and things of that nature. Um, and these programs by themselves are very important. This is probably the crux of why I think this bill is so important, and I'm such an advocate of it because if people and prisoners are able to get into these programs where they are able to get some work experience, get some vocational experience, they'll be able to more readily transition into jobs once they actually do get out of prison. And this will reduce crime because many crimes, including a lot of nonviolent crimes, you could argue, and I would really say are acts of poverty and acts of people who are committing crimes on the basis of scarcity and on the basis of not really having things. So these people learning a trade or learning a specific vocation and having some technical skills and vocational skills will have an easier time getting a job because of these skills. And the crimes they committed that were almost necessitated and committed out of poverty or out of desperation, will be drastically mitigated. And that's really, really important. And so for the last part of this presentation, I'm going to discuss the role social workers have in this particular social welfare topic. And so the role of social workers with this topic is okay. So I'm going to talk about the advocacy role of social workers. So in this topic, social workers within the advocacy role help in the macro process by working with local legislators, lawmakers, and lobbyists to advocate for prison reform within the criminal justice system. This is a macro level issue because it is dealing with policies and laws that will be affecting hundreds of thousands of incarcerated individuals. So, these social welfare workers within the advocacy roles will help build awareness and talk about the personal experiences of either current inmates or former inmates who have had injustices and kind of, let's say, proverbially fallen through the cracks of the in the gray areas of the criminal justice system, where there are areas and there are discrepancies with policies that don't necessarily apply to everyone and don't necessarily help all individuals. They also form partnerships and advocacies, through corporate culture, through building awareness, and also celebrity, consignment. And even though that sounds silly, it really isn't. There was another time a few months ago where Kim Kardashian West went to the White House and was able to communicate with the president and get a woman who was wrongly convicted. I think it was Alice Johnson, I believe, pardoned. So those are just some of the ways of how social welfare workers work to bring light to this issue. That's my presentation. I hope you like the topic I chose. Hope you found it mildly entertaining, and I hope you found it informative. Alrighty, thank you.